Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. We've got some nice horses out this weekend, or fingers crossed, it could be a rigmarole of whether we're going to have these horses out because of the ground. But currently, at this early stage, Shishkin, Edwardstone, John Bon, Honeysuckle over in Ireland, they're all set to take under starters orders and go to the race. So we could have some nice horses out. We're here for the Tingle Creek preview weekend. We had some nice winners last weekend. We had a review video come out on Sunday. So if you hadn't checked that out, please go and check that out on our YouTube channel. But we're back. The usual boys are back. It is Harry Beard, Racing Lee. How are we, gentlemen?
Go on, Harry, go for it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely smashing today. Me and Ash, we've been down to Warren Chase to see Ollie Murphy's yard. It's he seems in good nick. So hopefully we can carry that on and find some winners for you all on Saturday. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's a reason for me wearing this shirt. It's not a special occasion. I've just come from Ollie's from Ollie's to uni to my house, and I haven't had time to change. So you get to see me in a shirt. Why not? Lee, yourself, Tingle Creek weekend. We could be seeing Shishkin, but the drift would suggest otherwise. We'll get onto that later, but it's set to be a nice weekend as always.
Well, I think last week warmed everybody up for the weeks ahead. Look, we're well into the national season now, but Constitution Hill and the likes of La Press, they definitely, I think, set the game alight last week. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. Some good horses out and Grade 1 races as well.
Yes, we've got Grade 1 races across Ireland and England on the weekend. If you haven't checked out already, we've got a giveaway on our Twitter. It's for a Shishkin sweatshirt. Hopefully it runs so people can wear that while he's racing.
Actually, it's for the Donnelly colours. So it's Shishkin's running, but look, it's all of the Donnelly horses. We're seeing Jet Power the other day, but it is a Christmas one, so just in time for them Christmas parties. Get it on.
In the
we're never going to see. Well, if anyone's going around at the minute saying I'm wearing the jet-powered colours,
that's like going on the street saying I'm wearing the Nelson River colours. I know one says that. No one says
melon
colours. The melon colours. We'll get stuck in. We've got Grade 1 action. We'll start with a Grade 2 race, the Many Clouds Chaser entry on Saturday. Got some nice entries. The prices at this early stage, Conflators in there. We've also got Chantry House, but topping the market for the Many Clouds is Racing Post owned Ahoy Senor, 2-1 in there for Lucinda Russell. Conflated, as I mentioned, 4s with Gordon Elliott, Jigginstown, Chantry House at 6s. I'll come to you firstly. We've got 10 going to Post. It should be a nice race. Where have you landed for the Many Clouds chase?
Look, Ahoy Senor bombed out the last day. I'd have to probably watch the horse again to see what happens, to be fair. Lucinda Russell did say maybe it's just needed the run and it wasn't itself. So I can see it coming on, but it chose I wouldn't be taking the horse. If Conflated did go, I would take Conflated, but I was looking. I don't know if it will go Christmas, and this is a short transition from Saturday's race to the Christmas races. I don't know if Gordon Elliott will keep him for then and then kick on to the festivals. Look, there's obviously they've got Dusart in there as well. Fairly bolted up in a handicap. The air meeting. Chantry House is an in and out horse as well. It's one I can't catch right, the same as Champ last weekend. One pulled up. Will you want to be taking a chance about that horse? I don't know. So look, if Conflated went, I'd definitely take him, but Noble Yates as well is an interesting one. Back at the scene of the crime, obviously different fences, but I think he won really well the last day. Run Wild Fred was beaten about 30 length. They went hammer and tongue, but Noble Yates jumped great, and look, he's an interesting one going forward. He's one I didn't have on my radar until the last day, but Conflated if I had to throw a dart at one now.
I agree. Conflated if he goes to the race. I'm a big fan of this horse, and I'll bring it up for the 4th time this season. 40-1 for him for the Gold Cup is criminal. Can't believe he's that price. But if he goes, Conflated. If he doesn't, Dusart is where I've landed on. I really liked how he beat Sounds Russian last time out at Ayr. As Lee said, he went down South National went past, and then he battled to win fairly easily there at the finish. So
he bolted up really, to be fair, didn't he?
Yeah, if I agree, if Dusart goes, I'd be interested in him. Harry, early stage, so it's hard to tell. It's a difficult race to know who's going and who's not going. But where do you have a bet in this race currently? Is there one that interests you?
I don't have one in at the minute, but I mean, just looking at the race, I just think of Hoy because I don't think he's going to go to Kempton around Christmas time, and I just think this is tailor-made for him, really. His entry record speaks for itself. He's 2 from 2 there. Every time he's ran, he's bolted in. He beat Braveman's Game the first time he went by 7 lengths, and then Fury Road in the Mildmay, the Grade 1 in April. Fury Road, La Homme Press, Braveman's Game were both in behind that day. So I just think his record fresh is quite poor. He's the last twice he's not won. He ticked up. I think he unseated at Carlisle, and then the next day he went and won easy. So I think the good ground. We're not going to get much rain between now and Saturday. I think at 2-1 with the others out. More than likely, I don't think Conflated will go, lads. Sorry to burst your bubble.
I agree. I don't think just because the Christmas race comes too quick. But just precisely. On your point, Harry, Lucinda, as we talked about it last week with Corrick Rambler, he ran a good race and he come on a lot from his first run. So
absolutely. And I'll tell you now, talking of that horse, I think Corrick Rambler is absolutely tailor-made for the National. The horse just stayed on for a mile back. He wasn't even in the screen turning in. But
giving out national winners already.
Fancy a punch for the National. I don't know what price he is, but I mean he's got to be a big one.
GSI, is it?
No, I wouldn't say that. I won't go that. Not in November, the end of November. But no, going back to Ahoy Senor, lads. I think he's getting weight off Chantry House. And a few of these, only carrying 11.7. He's the class act. His entry record speaks for itself, and he won't be 2-1 on the day. So, for me, he looks the most likely winner, but he's not a price I want to go diving in.
Harry already giving out Grand National naps. We'll head over to Sandown, the Grade 1 Henry VIII from Novices Chase. I'll come to you firstly. A horse that you're a big fan of, John Bon, at 5-2 on, has drifted because of the comments Nicky Henson made. Doesn't want to run this horse on the better ground, even though he seemed to be quite a quick horse at Warwick and didn't seem like he'd have any trouble with it. It's not a betting race, or is it not? I might have one at a bigger price. But John Bon, does he go? If he does, do you think he just wins this easily and it's move on, quick conversation?
If he goes, he wins. 1-4 now, drifted out 2-5. Look, he's already obviously beat Monmoral. He's in the race. Boot Hill's in there. I'm not a massive fan of Boot Hill, but I definitely take John Bon. Look, bet responsibly. You know, you don't want to be getting stuck into these short price ones if they're not going to go. And look, Nicky's all roads to the festival, really. His eyes are on March, and he doesn't want to break a horse. And look, it's fair dues. Look, it's his decision at the end of the day, but I think he'd handle the ground fine, and if he goes, he wins.
Harry, we were talking to Ollie Murphy earlier, and he said that there really needs to be some rain about it. It's just a very quick ground at the moment compared to years gone by. John Bonnie's a worry to go on the weekend, but he just surely wins if he turns up.
He is, and obviously I've made my case quite clear for this horse regarding the Arkle. I think he is.
Have you backed him?
Yeah, I did back him 5-1.
No
Ash.
bloody way!
You could say a little bit.
Did you get paid out by Paddy?
No, I didn't. I was fuming. The only bookmaker I didn't bet with was Paddy Power, and they paid it out. But good marketing from them. Tell you what, there is one at a price, Ash, that is quite nice. Unexpected Party. If this horse goes, I think there's no way this horse will be. Now, the form line behind McFabulous has really took a boost over the weekend with that horse beating Time Hill at Newbury, and I just think he's travelled so strongly in the race that just suggests that this drop back to 2 miles would be absolutely no issue whatsoever. I think he handles the ground, and I think he'd beat Boot Hill. I think it's a big step up from obviously the handicap at Ascot, even though it was a good race. 2 unexposed types coming to the 4 there, but it's a big step up into Grade 1 company. And I think there's a lot to come from this horse. And it would be no surprise to see Dan Skelton with another big winner on Saturday, would it?
I think you have to try and get an angle in. So if John Bond doesn't go, and then Monreal might not turn up, and then obviously Boothill's got the quicker turnaround, that could look a massive price.
16 to exactly. I mean, you go down there. There's no way that horse. If John Bond gets withdrawn, you're probably going to go Boothill favourite. Monreal. I mean, he was withdrawn.
Monreal won't go. Monreal won't go.
He was exactly. So he was withdrew at Cheltenham on good ground, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think he was withdrew.
Yeah, it was
due to the ground. So listen, I think on unexpected party, if you're playing for a little bit of value, just throw a dart at it, Dan. Go on, go for the prize. 16 to 1.
I'm really worried. First of all, obviously, just looking at the prize money for connections, there's 5 entered currently. So if all 5 turn up, okay, imagine all 5 turn up. Who we got at the bottom here? Honor Darjnock. Okay, all right, that turns up. Murder the pronunciation.
Ash, you need to stop with these pronunciations because these are horrific. We had Galis Malacalo the other week, Galis Macalo, and now I've got Honor. What was it? Honor
whatever. He gets $2,000 if he turns up. So the 5th place gets $2,000. Okay, 4th gets 4, 3rd gets 8, 2nd gets 17. This race, right? I think this will potentially end up being a free runner affair. Because I'm fairly sure Monreal doesn't go. That's what Nichols said when he was talking about runners in the UK and stuff like that. I think that when he fired back at Gordon Elliott earlier today, I think he just mentioned at the end, Monreal doesn't go. John Bond, there's a real worry. If Nicky Henson's talked about this, he's been cautious about horses. I'd be seriously worried if he goes. And then you're looking at unexpected party is 16 to 1. There should be no reason why he doesn't go because you're second to Monreal on good. He's got that soft ground 4 in there, but he's also second to Gal Road on good as well. Like maybe they take him out second run of the season. Maybe they take him out trying to look for a bit of softer ground. But I think they should just take the stab at this because I completely agree with Harry's point. I think this is a 2-miler. Like the way he's travelled into his race, the speed that he's been travelling at and then just not stayed. It was quite clear in the McFabulous race that for me personally, he just didn't stay. He got there, he travelled to the front, he jumped to the second last, I think, ahead.
See, I don't think he didn't stay, Ash. I don't think he didn't stay, but McFabulous has just proved it over 3 miles. I think he's been beaten by a better stayer.
Yes.
I just don't think. I think he will handle that stiff uphill finish completely, and I think he's massive.
I think it's just that he's so unexposed at like 2 miles. Like he's had only 1 run and he was 4th, but that was on his like debut or something like that. And he was green as grass. You can put a complete line through that. So he's so unexposed at this trip. I'd love to see him at 2 miles.
We've all agreed on the value.
On the value of unexpected
16
party.
to 1 already. Already it's a Tuesday.
Oh, dearie me. The Grade 1 Tingle Creek, another horse who could not be going. Shishkin, 6 to 4. Green team tops the market at evens for Paul Nichols. It should be a good clash between them two. Seems like the Twitter horse or the money horse is Gentleman to Me. A lot of people saying this price was too big, 10s into 6s. Edwardstone, 13 to 2. Captain Guinness, 14s. Fernambul Sivola, 16s. And Dunvegan, 33s. Pronunciation's all on point there after that. Harry, I know what you're going to put up for this race, and just please tell the viewers, ladies and gentlemen, watching on this Tuesday night before the England-Wales game, they're on a high. Bring them down to a low as to what you're going to put up for this race.
Well, right, listen, I will explain. I don't think Shishkin will go, which means I don't think John Bond will go. So I think if John Bond doesn't get declared, I don't think Shishkin will. Now, I think the value play in this race is Captain Guinness. Was only 5 lengths behind Grenadine in last year's renewal. Okay, shut up. Listen. Just listen, lads. Lads, listen. Right, listen. Okay, I'm going to go on one here. I'm going to go on one.
Go on.
Right. He made his reappearance run last time at Navan, winning one. Now, it did really impressive. Beat Riviere de Tel. There was a nice little field in there. Now, I know she's obviously bombed out last time at Carlisle at the weekend. Andy Dufresne was in behind. That's a smart horse. And he's a far better horse this time around this year than he was last time around last year. Now, I think you've got Grenadine at evens and you've got this horse at 14 to 1 who was only 5 lengths behind. Now, if this horse has had any progression, which he has from last season, he's a big, big, big price. I know the value play in the race. He is the nap of the weekend at 14 to 1.
There it is.
Listen, if Shishkin doesn't go, that means all of them are going to come crashing down. I have just boosted the bet on William Hill to 15
If Shishkin goes, though,
would
that change your mind or not?
No, it wouldn't, because if you've got Shishkin going, he's then people still don't rely on him after what happened at Cheltenham. It's a big thing to come back from that injury that he did have
It's one run though. It's one run. You've got to.
It might be one run, but you can always forgive a run. But can you forgive an injury? That was a serious one. That's another different ball game in my eyes. Edward Stone as well in there. He's apparently not going to go. Listen, 14-1 for me is outrageous, and I genuinely think he will go close to winning.
I unfortunately don't have too much of an opinion on this because I think it's a tough betting race, but Harry has napped Captain Guinness. A little early view there. That's look, I can't knock you for selections. We are different opinions, but Lee, yourself, Green Team tops the market. Last year's winner was the site of that massive drift for Bridie Frost, drifting out to 9-1 and 1 for Paul Nicholls. This horse will be targeted for this race. It won it last year. Is it a simple case he wins, or is there something lurking in the middle range prices to maybe take?
Yesterday, I was going to take two at a bigger price. Gentleman to me was 14s, missed the boat, and Funamball Savola was 25s, now into 12s. I thought there were two overpriced horses in case Shishkin didn't go. Shishkin was 2s, got back into down to even money, back out to 11-8 now. Grenadine drifted, I think, to 7-4 something, now in even money. Look, we don't know who's going to go. Captain Guinness is it, Mr. Fisher for me, grade 2 horse. Sorry, lads. I just think, look, beat Riviere de Tel, who absolutely bombed out, like you say, the other day. So, look, the form's not great and not exactly a grade 1 horse for me. So I wouldn't be taking Captain Guinness, but I thought Gentleman to be was overpriced. But if he's the selection of Willie Mullins to come here, then look, he might just need the last run and perform a lot better. But look,
he has to perform miles better than what he did last time out.
Yeah, of course.
That would be my worry.
You can see that improvement as well, though. You can see it coming forward as well. Look, if I had to be pushed, I would just take Grenadine as the solid horse. Absolutely bolted up really at the Exeter race and carrying a lot of weight. This is his target. So is the end of season one at Sandown. These two are his big pots as well. Nichols knows that, and he's a target trainer. He goes for the big pots. If Shishkin doesn't go, Grenadine will win. And look,
get the forecast going. Just get the forecast going.
I'd be leaving the race if Shishkin comes in because I would be unsure. Look, 2s could look a massive price, but yeah.
I've got a question for Ash. I've got a question for you.
Fire away.
Should Shishkin be with Drew? Edward Stone be with Drew? What would your market be like on the day? SP starting.
So, in my years of experience as a bookmaker in the trading room at bookmakers, I'd have literally no clue. I would have literally no clue. If Shishkin didn't go, I'd say Green Team shortens up to. You can't go anything much shorter than 6-4 on. Like you wouldn't go much shorter than 6-4 on. Maybe like 6-5 on. Gentleman to me moves into about 3s, and then everything just.
What does Captain Guinness go to?
Look, it's a value play, and the thing is, I was looking at this earlier.
Boy, the V word. Oh, that's a W.
You're saying
it's the V word. Yeah.
It's
the V word. Look, I was looking at this race, and I actually I kind of like Harry's sort of angle in this with Captain Guinness. Like the form is there. Was third in this race last year, behind the runaway winner Green Team. Hitman was in second. Now we know that Hitman's more of a stayer, but he was still a quality horse back then, and to finish right next to him was good. Beat Andy Dufresne the time before that, was second to Energumen. Nace beat Midnight Run before that and won well. Like, I like the angle.
Lads,
I just wouldn't be napping him, you know?
I'm still picking yous up off the bottom of the cliff from Mr. Fisher. Look, you can't be wading in on these horses, man.
Mr. Fisher, Nina the Terrier. We've got so many on this channel.
I know.
I did like that angle into it. Like, I thought he was a nice play into the race, and you know, Harry, I may not be napping him, but I still like him. That must be a nice bit of reassurance to see us agreeing there.
It's probably the toughest race the week out of the weekend, to be honest.
At this early stage, yes.
I'll be in Benidorm and I'll be sending drinks to whoever's napped him, and we can all have a party on Saturday night together. We'll forecast a Saturday Night Live when Captain Guinness wins.
No, we really won't. We'll move on. We'll move on to Sunday. Grade 1 Hatton's Grace there. Honeysuckle is there topping the market, Lee. the great mare, 16 wins in a row. If memory serves me correctly, she might lose the champion hurdle in March. That's still up for debate, but she's won this race countless times now. It's her usual starting point. She then goes on to a sort of mid-season target and onwards to the champion hurdle. First of all, it'd be great to see her back, and hopefully she's in the same form as she was last season.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. I absolutely love the horse. I think it's just great for racing. The combination of her and Rachel Blackmore, and obviously Henry de Bromhead's had a absolutely horrific year. I just love to see the horse come back and give them, a small highlight at the weekend. Obviously, you've got like the likes of Sayed Burley, Darva Star. Them are 10 to 11. As you know, I'm not really a fan of the older brigade. I'd rather have an improver or a horse that could show a bit more going forward. Classical Dreams in there. Still relatively young, hasn't had much racing, and he would be the one for the forecast. I can't see the mare beat, but I can see Ashdale Bob maybe he's running into a place. I think that ran an all right race the last day. Bob Ollinger was obviously second to Home by the Lee, but they had a bit of a tussle, him and Florin Porter for third. So look, I can see Ashdale Bob running into a place. Classical Dream for second. There's the Tricast. Honeysuckle to beat the two.
Lee has gone for the 1-2 forecast of the top two in the market. This includes a 7-2 on favourite. You don't get the prices. You don't get the prices anywhere else, lads. Harry Lee's put up his case there. Honeysuckle. So horse, you're a big fan of, if I remember correctly. The champion hurdle. You were really sweet on her for the champion. Oh no, that's right. No, you said if she wins, I get a tattoo of her name. What do? You got a tattoo of Facile Vega 20-1 because you're that vain of your own ante-post selections. Honeysuckle 7-2 on coming into this race. Is there anything to take her on with? And hopefully she's in good form.
No, and there isn't anything to take her on with. But what we are all hoping for is for her to show that she's still as good as what she is. She is the freak. She is the freak. Now, Constitution Hill has to step up. I don't care what anyone says. Constitution Hill has to step up to her. Now, she is so good. I mean, how many horses go unbeaten for that amount of time? And
Constitution Hill has to step up to her.
Yes, I think that's what I think. Dennis O'Regan made a good point on the Final Furlong podcast that she just kind of does what she needs to do. And she just wins, and not many horses just do that. They have that winning nature within them, and she's shown it year after year. People have doubted. I've doubted her. I'll be the first one to admit I have doubted her. But for me, I mean, what is she 4-1 for the champion hurdle? I think I think that's criminal. Because if she turns up in any sort of form as she has, I think they'd be worried to see her go. I think it'd be quite an interesting feeling for the Promed team if they go unbeaten to Cheltenham, because then they have got a real matchup between the two, and it'd just be so fascinating. But all we all hope is that she turns up, she wins, she's sound after the race, she goes to the race at Christmas. I can't think of
Dublin Racing Festival, is it? Maybe
that's the one. Yeah, that's the Christmas time. Is it February?
Around that. Yeah.
And then she turns up to Cheltenham, and hopefully it'll be one hell of a tussle, and you just want to see her win.
You have to remember, the likes of Big Bucks used to keep a little bit for himself and just win, and then people obviously crab saying you want to win by miles. Look, if you just keep doing what she's doing, she's still winning them races, she's still winning them grade ones. I don't know what she's beating in the process of stuff, but there's plenty in behind that would have liked to been closer to her. I know that. So look, she's great for racing.
She's just got that little injection where she where she needs it, she can go. And Rachel knows her so well, and they just get on like that. You just know they're going to be in the right position.
Puts the race to bed.
Yeah, and if she you could trap her on the inside, she'll find a way out and win. You could trap her on the outside, she'll find a way out and win. You could let her go from the front, and you'll never catch her. You could drop her in behind, and she'd just power through everything. She's just that good. But hopefully she turns up sound.
She's amazing. She's brilliant for the sport. You can't really knock her in that sense. And she's won 16 races in a row, 2 champion hurdles, and she's won what she likes. She's fantastic. There's still like 10% of me that thinks that Epatante would have won the champion hurdle if she jumped the last, but that's a different conversation.
Say again.
I thought Epatante was coming with a winning run in the champion hurdle, and
What?
I've made this very aware on numerous occasions that I thought Epatante was coming with a winning run. I've just seen, by the way, it's a live video right now, so if you've got any questions, comments, fire away. Saffron Beach just sold for 3.6 million guineas, so that's incredible. We're talking about
alcohol free goes for Ash.
She's going in the ring now as well, so if that comes through, I'll go for Honeysuckle. Is fantastic. I really hope she's in good form, like just for racing. If we get all these stars to the champion hurdle in March, if we get Constitution Hill, State Man, Vauban, Honeysuckle, if we can get Sir Gerhard going there, that'd be fantastic for the sport. Like really, it needs it. The champion hurdle division needs it. We were on Emmett's podcast, Lee, the other week, and we were looking through the champion hurdle runners, and there was just nothing. There was like Napper's Hill in there or something like that. It's like horses who are probably going to go down this route. I like to move it or something like that. The champion hurdle division has needed it since the last 5-6 years. It's really needed it. The last time I can think of these proper horses clashing was probably Binocular years, like Hurricane Fly, Binocular, Rock on Ruby. Like it's not been the same since then. And it really needs something like, the Bouvardere years, although I think they were glorious, and they were, he wasn't beating proper.
He beat Rags, to be fair.
No, he was beating nice horses, but he wasn't beating proper.
One, I can't remember, Gordon Elliott, that was third one year at Bouvardere. I can't remember the race. Oh my God, it was one of the worst. Like, I don't know how it's even ran into a place, but that just shows the form. Like, it was terrible. The
form wasn't incredible. I think like Yanworth went favourite for his first champion hurdle. That horse is now like a 3 mile 5 slogger or something like that. So like the form wasn't great from those years, but it was still nice to see. But like now we could have this 1 year, the champion hurdle division could be hotting up, and another horse to slot seamlessly into there. Tiupu's entered, lads. You know how much of a big fan I was of this horse.
Go on to the Drinmore.
Tiupu is one of the most unexposed horses in this lineup. The form with Quilixios, beating that horse twice. The second day it won, I still can't believe it. How Tiupu got up that day under Jordan Gayfield. I really can't believe he got up to beat Quilixios. He did it there. He then went on to beat Durasso, a bloody good horse. Mine is Durasso, and then just bombed out in the 2 Grade 1 races.
So that cliff horse of yours, Ashley.
Look, it's not a cliff horse.
We do it every week. I will lay you any price. Just let me know. Let me know what price.
This man, before we move on to the Drinmore, this man messaged me after Tiupu was a non-runner, and he went, "I told you it wouldn't win." I was like, "Yes, Harry, that's because he hasn't stepped foot on the grass." We will move on. I've lost my little marker there. No, I haven't. The Grade 1 Drinmore, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to be covering next. It's one of the first Grade 1s on the card at Fairyhouse. I just sort of skipped ahead because I was a little bit ahead of myself. No, it's the second Grade 1. The Raw Bonds first. We'll go to the Drinmore, and there are prices. 3 Stripe Life, 3-1. Banbridge, 7-2. Gaillard de Maynil in there at 5s. Hollow Games in there at 5s as well. Some nice horses. Mighty Potter in there as well, lurking. El Barrow as well. It's a really nice race, Harry. If you land on one that could be a little bit overpriced at this early stage.
There's definitely one that's overpriced, and it's the Barry Connell runner in this, Ennis Kerry. Now this horse has taken to the chasing game superbly well, and is a massive price. I think it's about 12. Am I right? 12-1. Only an 8-year-old, 2 from 2 over chases, and you can see why they thought this horse was a chaser. Beat Midnight Run twice now by 6 lengths on chasing debut, and then by another 4, nearly 5 lengths. Had Soul Pretender in there at 3rd. I think, did that horse come and that horse was 12 lengths behind Banbridge? Listen, there's 4 miles.
Travelling well, that horse with Soul Pretender.
Yeah, no.
Went well from the front.
This Ennis Kerry, I think, stays this 2 miles well. Stays the extra trip as well. Obviously, the Drinmore's over 2.4, I want to say. And I think he's massively overpriced because it just looks well within his reach to go and get this. And Barry Connell can't speak highly of this horse, enough highly of this horse. So I think at 12-1 is a lot. Get my phrase right.
Big
very
price.
much overpriced. Yeah,
there we
big
go.
Value.
Get your words out. Lee, we've got a Grade 1 winner in 3 Stripe Life in this race. We've got Grade 2 Arkle Novice Trial in there in Banbridge. We've got a Grade 1 winner, Gaillard de Maynil, Hollow Games, a very, very good horse. Mighty Potter, a Grade 1 winner over hurdles and a winner over fences. El Barra, authorised, are adamantly chosen. It could be the race of the weekend. What have you landed on?
Same as Harry, actually. I just thought Ennis Kerry was going to be the one that went under the radar. Obviously, Gordon and Willie Mullins, multiple entries, and they're not going to send them all here. They'll save them for Christmas and stuff like that as well. So a couple of them will get pulled out. Look, if you had to choose one out of Gordon's, look, I do like Hollow Games, but he says that he's going to maybe try and keep it at 2 miles. Maybe he's been running over the wrong trip. I don't know if they're going to have another go at 2 mile. Mighty Potter, 3 Stripe Life, them all in there. Whatever Gordon chooses to send you is probably going to be the right one, if you know what I mean. But I love Banbridge. I do think that he will step up. Obviously, won the Arkle Trail. But I do think he maybe be better suited over the 2-4, and this race would probably suit him really well. So I think the Barry Connell horse is overpriced, like Harry said, and he's been saved for this race as well. This race has been a target since its last run, so I think that one's overpriced. But I would take Banbridge maybe if he does go here. But yeah, Ennis Kerry, definitely value.
There's a lot of me that hopes Banbridge doesn't go for this race. Like, I know he won over 2.5 as a hurdler in the Martin Pipe, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he's saved for the Racing Post. Novice Chasing goes there instead. Shows his Arkle credentials better, because I do think he's a really, really good horse over 2 miles over fences. This isn't D-Day for him. There's more options later down the line if he loses, but I think Mighty Potter here is a horse you boys know, and I think a lot of people know. I absolutely love this horse. For the Turners, 10-1 currently for that race. I snapped a bit of I think 14s earlier in the season. But yeah, this horse is really good.
First run, Ash, or?
Sorry?
Are you happy with his first run?
Look, it is what it is, but he's beaten some half decent horses there, like Mars Harper and Largy Debut. They're no mugs. They're decent horses from the same stable there as Mars Harper and Largy Debut for Henry de Bromhead. He has to do it the hard way. He wasn't like a natural to his fences. At least it didn't seem like that on the first time, which was why I'm less sort of like sold by it. But I think he's the best Gordon Elliott horse in this lineup. I was really, out of the two, him and 3 Stripe Life, I was more displeased with 3 Stripe Life's performance than I was with Mighty Potter's last time out. He battled on well. He won fairly nicely at the line. This is the right distance for him, 2.5. And it's really sort of like a case of, right, let's drop you in the deep end and see what happens now. He did last year. He lost in the Royal Bond, and then he came back to win the Grade 1 at the end of the season. So he can come on for a couple of his runs. But yeah, Mighty Potter, it'd be him all over, really. I didn't really look anywhere else because I saw his name and went straight to it. We'll move on. We'll move on to the Royal Bond while I get my little thing up there on the bottom, but I'll come to you firstly. Champ Keeley is the interesting entry in this race for Willie Mullins. Talk a little bit more about this horse. Obviously unbeaten in his last 3, winning at Galway and Tipperary, and then Limerick before that, right at the start. He's beaten some nice horses, Brazil, and a few horses have come out to flank the form. He looks to be a right one for Willie Mullins.
Yeah, look, I'd take him for sure. Obviously, Barry Connell's got Marine National. Obviously, that horse, I think, is definitely going to step up again. Fairly bolted in the last year. Obviously, won well in bumpers. His own colours as well, the same as Ennis Kerry. So he's got 2 good chances on the card there. 3 card Bragg of Gordon Elliott. He was down to run against American Mike and Dawn Rising the other day, got pulled out. I obviously thought American Mike could win. Dawn Rising ended up winning, who was actually 22 lengths behind Champ Keeley as well. 2 runs back. Like you say, that the Willie Mullins horse beat Brazil by nearly 5 lengths the last day in a Grade 3. Can only come forward. I think it'll be his chosen one for this race, and yeah, definitely stick with him. I think he's got good form lines already this early on in the season.
Harry, there's no prices that I can see on my screen. So there's no ante-post selection or angle to go down, but there's some really nice horses in there, some interesting newcomers as well. What would you be liking currently at this stage?
I'm totally with Lee here, and I think just judging by that Brazil form line for Champ Kylie, I think this is a proper Grade 1 horse. Won his maiden hurdle by 21 lengths, beat Brazil, who, as I mentioned, as Lee mentioned, beat one of was it Fildor?
Fildor, who's then come out as well, won. Do you know what I mean?
Precisely. Don't get me wrong. I think Fildor looked like he'd been chasing. He'd been jumping chases during his hurdles. He was big. It just looked like he'd been schooling, but there's nothing wrong with that. And Brazil just picked up like a proper horse. Beat Gaelic Warrior in the at the festival, and I think that horse is going to go on to big things for Willie Mullins this year as well. So just judging by that form lines alone, I think this horse is going to be a proper thing. And obviously, Willie's won the race 9 times, so that's a record in itself. So I think Champ Kylie, if Captain Guinness wasn't my nap, I think this horse would be very close.
Good shit. This one's a better shout than Captain Guinness, but I was just going to mention that it actually won over 2 mile the last day, and then it's won over 2.5 as well. So it has a bit of both blend, which I like. That you can stay further in these races. You can use a pace a bit different in these type of races, and obviously that Grade 1 horses, they're going to go a bit of a clip. So look, I think this one is definitely. I would have said, if you looked at it, this would be my nap. I would have said.
Yeah, thank you.
What it will be, to be fair, it may be short.
We've had prices. They've just dropped on my screen. Isn't that nice? Champ Kylie 7-4.
7-4. Get GSI.
Marine Nationale 2s. Irish Point 4. Hercules de Soy in there at 6s.
Get stuck into that 7-4. I'll get some of that.
Hang on. Hello. Yes, it's the banker, Harry. Swap or no swap on your nap. It's swap or no swap.
I love it.
Good evening, banker. Can I double the nap? Can I have a Captain Guinness and Champ Kylie double, please?
He's just called you a word that rhymes with banker. I don't know. He's just hung up.
Who's on the phone? It's not Edward Stone. It's Champ
No,
Kylie.
stop. Champ Kylie, yeah, proper horse, proper one here for Willie Mullins, and it's really a test of his supreme credentials now. Like, he's 20-1 for that race, and he could step up, as Lee said, because he's done that race over 2 mile 5. I really liked how he's won. Like, he's just like when you visually look at a horse without going into the stats, without going into the form, without going into the times. He just looks a right one. He just looks a proper horse. 7-4 doesn't look unreasonable in this company. The one I thought, I was hoping for a bigger price, but I've been shot down because of the recent form that's come out. Irish Point, I was really interested by this horse because it won the Grade 1 bumper over in France. That was beating, I have my French pronunciation out here, Il est Français, beat that horse into seconds. That was Il est Français. Beat that horse in second. That horse won a Grade 1 for Tom George recently and has won a Grade 3 as well. So the form has really been working out there. Bolted up fairly nicely in a Cork maiden hurdle. So I was like hoping there'd be a bigger price there. I was hoping like each way angling to this race, like here we go. But the 4-1 looks a bit skinny. But
what price is a three card bag, Bragg?
3 card brag 10-1. Biggest price off the field, wouldn't you believe?
I would have just said he was definitely more than he was the one who was staying on best effect behind Hercule Soy and Imagine of Gordon Elliott. He, half furlong extra, he would have won the race basically. He would be an interesting one for the McNeil family if he did choose to go here. But GSI for the favourite,
Yeah, it's good to see McNeil family having some nice runners over in Ireland. The 2 horses there you mentioned there, Imagine and Hercule de Soy. I sort of like both think those horses are more stayers in type. I think they'll go on a bit further. Alcohol free cost 5.4 million there, Harry, if you're interested. But yeah, so that's a big price tag for that horse. But yeah, I'm interested by the top 2. Do you know what? If you push me, I'd take Irish Point, bigger price. I think he's got a lot of potential to go there, but we shall see. That's us covering the main races. Harry, I want to go over to you. Have you got any other bets at this early stage? Any handicap bets at all, or just other things in the other race that looked interesting?
An interesting one at Sandown, Ash, is Love Envoy. Harry Fry releases his star mare. Interesting at 3-1 if you fancy that. Obviously got to carry top weight in this. You've obviously got quite a few unexposed types in that race. But I just think think Love Envoy. I'm surprised they're going handicap routes because I thought she is a graded horse. Now we've seen it at the start of the year with these top class horses carrying top weight. We've seen it with Long Press in the rehearsal last weekend. We've seen it with I can't think of the name, the David Bass horse that won at Cheltenham.
Does he know?
Does he know one? Frodon. We've seen it all. Grenadine. So fingers crossed, Love Envoy makes a winning start. But for me, it's just, you've got the three there, haven't you? Really, Unexpected Party, Champ Kylie, and Captain Guinness. Yeah,
no, it's very interesting there. Lee, yourself, anything take interest, or I'll fire away with mine?
Look, forgive us, I haven't written it down, but I think it's in the Beecher 5-star getaway, is it?
Yes.
Of Christian Williams.
14-1.
14s, I think it's an alright price. £2 higher than winning at Kempton, I think. And when I was looking at the trainer report afterwards, said we'll come on for this run. Had 6 months off, and then would come on for its first run, and then one second time out. It's done the same again, so didn't run since April. Ran, I think it was 2 weeks back there. Bangor was fourth, stayed on well, and of £2 higher. I just think that race might suit. So that one for me.
Lads, he'll win when we want him to win, lads. He'll win when he wants him to win, lads. I'm not as good as Josh Stacey on the Christian Williams accent.
No, you're not.
I'm no messing about here. Probably one of my early fancies that I really like here is Cloth Cap for the Beecher. I can't believe the price of this horse, 25-1. You obviously went into the National off a mark of 147 and pulled up. If you want to take the nice sort of angle into that race, he went from prominently from the front. He was jumping very well. Just didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't happen for him that day. He came out and he was readily pulled up by Tom Scudamore there. It wasn't like they tried to plug on and he just didn't have it. He was pulled up after he started dropping back, So I was happy to take that away. He's had a pipe open at Aintree already, finishing 5th to Dingo Dollar. But if you just look back there, so he's off a mark of 140 on the weekend. His last winning mark was off 136 of Handicap Company. That's when he bolted up in the Hennessy in 2020 to beat I Right, or as it was known back then, the Ladbrokes, was it? The Ladbrokes Trophy, there you go. He then went and beat ASO at Kelso. That was in a listed race, so it was not a handicap. He was so wrong at the weights that day. ASO had £10 on him, and Cloth Cap had to give him £4. He had to give 2 for Gold £1. He had to give all of these horses in the race just pounds upon pounds on the official ratings, and he still beat them really, really comfortably. 2 for Gold.
Will he handle the fence? Because he kind of didn't take to it when he went off favourite for the National, wasn't it? A couple of years ago back.
I'd have no issue with it. I genuinely thought that he jumped well in the National when he was favourite, but he just didn't go for him. I think he jumped well, but maybe maybe didn't stay out the full trip. Who knows? But he's back down to 3 miles now, whatever the Beecher is, 3 mile 1. And then you're looking at that 2 for Gold form line that he beat him there. That horse went on to win a handicap at Doncaster, beat Dashel Drasher at Lingfield, and then was second in a Grade 1 to Fakir Duderi. So I think of a mark of 140. He's off a really, really winning chance here. And Cloth Cap, no messing about, 25-1. I'd be having him in there. That's all, gentlemen, isn't it? I'm correct in saying that's all?
Just don't forget, we've got the competition. So that's on our page, on Twitter page, at Only Fools Love Horses. So go on there, and in time for the weekend for our Saturday live, 10:30 a.m.
Yeah, we'll wrap up there. We've got the live in early there, so you can all go enjoy some beers for England and Wales. I certainly am. I know Harry is. I know
2-0.
you are. 2-0, Harry?
2-0, Kane anytime.
I think it will be 4-0, and I think Raheem Sterling is going to get a brace. That is all. I hope so. I've just made a run for my back. I'll change my selection. If you can find the team sheet while I do it, you can change my selection.
Bear with me.
We'll finish up there. Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you did enjoy our selections, do let us know the ones you agreed with or potentially disagreed with. If you did enjoy the video, bollocks. I'll have someone else in there scoring a brace. There'll be a brace scored in the game. No. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe and follow all of our accounts there. You can see them on the screens. We really enjoy making these videos in the recent weeks, so I hope you've enjoyed them. And the views have been very steady on them as well. So thank you very much for your support. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and make sure to catch us on Twitter and on Saturday for our 10:30 a.m. Saturday live, covering these races in finer detail.
Live from Benidorm.
from Benidorm for Harry. Go on, England.